Oh, he is so cute. I wonder where he works out.
What's your favorite scary movie?
We all go a little mad sometimes.
Get away from her, you bitch!
Hi, I'm Chucky, and I'm your friend to the end.
This is my boomstick!
Swallow this.
John, my old
Yo.
friend, where are you at? Where are you at, man? I don't recognize the wall.
Oh, that's the closet from Halloween, dude.
No, on location. Nice.
Man, that's a joke, by the way. No, I'm at Dana Point in California.
He said that like you should know, but I've never heard of Dana Point, California. Just let him know that. It's
I
not a
had
known
never
thing.
heard of it. I had never heard of it before. But my brother came down because we're going to see Iron Maiden on Wednesday. So he came down doing a little bit of brother catch up. I don't see family as much as I used to since I moved to Cali. So it's nice to have that motherfucker around, right, bro?
Right?
Peace. I guess before we get into probably one of the most entertaining horror films that I've seen in a long time, what are you drinking?
There's a place not too far from my house, and they have this happy hour from 11 a.m. to 7 p.m., which is awesome. So you think about that's not happy hour. That's like a shift.
That's fucking alcoholic hour. Yeah. That's awesome.
But what they do is they have margaritas for $3, and you'd think they'd be watered down, but these are real. And you could get them to go. So I usually have one because I'm safe, and I usually get one to go, and I bring it home and I drink it here. So I got a little bit of margarita left from the old restaurant, and in case that's not enough, because I have tolerance. I racked my other mead, so I got my nice standard golden mead here.
Nice. Very nice, man.
What about you, good sir?
Well, I wish I had stories around my drinks like you do, But no, I've been trying to find this beer for a while in my neck of the woods, and nobody has it because I live in a corner of the world that I call Peasantville. It's a place of peasants. So, but here in Dana Point, I found it finally, and it's the Trooper beer, Iron Maiden beer.
Oh, never had it. What kind of beer is it?
It's stout, I think.
Oh, okay.
Let me find out. Give me a sec. Oh, wait, actually, I'm rude. Sorry, guys. Cheers to you all. Cheers to you, Lance.
Yeah, John, everybody at home?
Yeah, let's go.
To all my friends.
To all my friends.
Hello, my friends! Hey!
That'll do her.
It's got a bit of a fruity taste, yeah. Everywhere I go in the States, I find a Bevmo, I think they're called Bevmo, or whatever. It's like a liquor store, and look for Trooper beer, and I never find it. So here in Dana Lake or Point or whatever the fuck, I finally found it. Yeah, Dante's Peak. I'll call it Dante's Peak from now on. I finally found it. So I've stocked up. I cleared the guy's shelves, man.
But that brings us to the point at hand. So here's the deal. And I'm excited for this. So I'm a big physical media guy when it comes to things I love, but I don't own any of the Nightmare on Elm Streets because they have yet to come out with a really good Blu-ray box set. And so I haven't seen this movie in maybe about 3 years because it's something I can't pop in. Not that I've seen it, so it's not like my first watch. That'd be embarrassing. I didn't see Shocker. He gave me a hard time. If I never saw this, I'd probably be fired, Next week, there's another bald guy in here.
Seriously.
I forgot about some key things, and I was like, oh, okay. This is the one, because this is the rock and roll Freddy. This is the MTV one.
Yeah, we're talking about, by the way, Nightmare on Elm Street Part 4, Dream Master, directed by the great Rennie Harlin. Which is basically the movie that really launched Freddy into a pop culture icon. Nightmare on Elm Street Part 3 had kind of paved the way. And then, they doubled down with Part 4, and it really blew Freddy up. And it's, of course, that film which led to Freddy's Nightmares, the short-lived Freddy Krueger TV show, which, wound up coupled with Dream Child Part 5, wound up being Freddy's, what goes up must come down, So went up fast, and then he went down fast, crashed and burned with Freddy's Nightmare Season 2. The show got canceled, and Dream Child underperformed. But Part 4 was the peak of Freddy Krueger. The movie just starts and never stops. From the opening song, sang, of course, by Tuesday Night.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. You know,
Ah.
running,
I mean, it was-
running from this nightmare. Another
I didn't
great-
like it. Yeah, I didn't like it.
Of course, you didn't like it. You don't like Shocker. You don't like, what was the other one recently you didn't like?
Oh, that's stupid. The one from Critters. Oh man, yeah.
Oh yeah, Power of the Night. Yeah.
Yeah, dude. Yeah.
Power of the Night. Yeah.
I mean, I think we would come down to is I could tell that you love these 80s ballads. I don't. Because I remember I kind of fast forwarded through the credits because I was like, okay, let's
What
get
an
this
ass. What a dick. I remember as a teenager actually playing, Nightmare on Elm Street 4 on VHS and with my boombox and recording the opening song on a
Oh, yeah.
cassette. So I could listen to it and stuff. So I like the song then. I like it now personally. The film is like an adrenaline shot, really, if you watch it again. I think I appreciate it more today than I did back then because Freddy, is not scary at all anymore. There's only one scene in part 4 that I find that they capture his, dirty old man essence.
Wanna suck the face?
No.
And, he comes next to her and opens up his claws and does the tongue thing. And he looks like a dirty old man, and then he says, you want to suck face? And then, he sucks the life out of her and then he dumps the body and he says, you flunk, or some shit like that. But that whole scene is uneasy. Freddy kind of puts some sexual pervy energy into it, which is what he is. He's a child killer. And as for the novelization of Nightmare on Elm Street 1 and 2, he was more than a child killer. He was a child molester as well. So, but they kind of buried that in the films themselves. But on the page, that's what he was. And then you get glimpses of it, now and then in the films. And in part 4, that was the glimpse. The kill sequences are, for the most part, some of them we'll talk later, but for the most part are inventive, creative. The way they use, the dream motif, like, when they run around the circle, they keep repeating the same thing over and over again. Even the scene, remember when Freddy is kind of like in a tube and he takes
the carnival thing.
Yeah, exactly. That's pretty cool. And then they go through the glass and fall into this cathedral. For me, maybe it's not the scariest, but it's definitely probably the most fun.
I'd agree. What I was going to say is that knowing this is the rock and roll Freddy, for some reason, I remember being a lot more jokey. And besides his one-liners, so like they do play him straight. He has those 80s one-liners, but I was actually kind of impressed that the way they handled Freddy. I don't know. I remember him being goofier. I really do. Like he's pretty much in the shadows. He's pretty threatening. Here's the thing though. I don't know about scary because I don't know what's scary.
Dude, he's on the fucking beach in broad daylight with sunglasses on. I wouldn't call him in the fucking shadows.
That's like the scene though. That's when you always use when you talk about Freddy. He has the glasses. He sticks his foot down the girl's face. Kristen, pushes her down. I mean, like when he's in the boiler room, even that scene where he's like spinning things around. I guess I was always thinking more. I remember leaning more towards Freddy's Dead than I remember, and this doesn't really touch it. Like it's like you said, it's an exaggerated part 3. But Rennie Harlan rocks out with directing, man, and that's one thing I noticed the most. It's like these are some inventive scenes. There's a scene when Kristen's mother drugs her, and she walks through the room, and it's just this one shot over the cameras above and goes down and follows her. And I was like, oh, that's super inventive, Super
inventive.
They lean into the dreams more. And I like that. Third was the start of it. Because, in number 1, the big twist was like every time there was a dream, at first she didn't know it was a dream. It was always this kind of slow burn into, oh, no, she's dreaming. And this is like fucking colors and things are happening. It's all wacky. Emily actually sat down when I was watching earlier. And she's 5 minutes in. She goes, you know what? I don't really like these kind of movies. But she goes, this is like super creative. Just like this kind of fun to watch because the dream sequence is just so wild. And I would definitely give that to Rennie Harlan for being like a heart and action director. Like Long Kiss Goodnight's a masterpiece, one of the best action movies ever.
Definitely.
Deep Blue Sea was another good example.
Die Hard 2.
Yes, yeah. What was his other big one? I should know this.
Cliffhanger.
Yeah, that's the one I was thinking of. Yeah, a great Stallone and who's that bad guy? Lithgow.
Lithgow, yeah, John Lithgow.
Yeah. but he uses it to like really like emphasize the dreams and uses cameras in these like weird creative ways. And plus, I think the lighting is my favorite. This where you get a lot of the cool neon lights, the how sweet fresh meats, and the all the greens and the reds. And I was like, that's super cool. Like, I mean, I just thought Freddy was goofier, I guess. Not that he wasn't playful, but for some reason I thought he was more cartoonish.
Dude, I must say, mad skills with that tongue, man. I was impressed the way he wiggled that shit. I was like,
yeah. It's a man that knows what he's doing.
Yeah, exactly. Actually, there's one scene like early on. I think it's the first when the film opens. It kind of opens on a Kristen dream sequence, and she walks into the Elm Street house. Since Elm Street 3, definitely, there's a whole motif with the little girl. Of course, actually, it was Elm Street 1 and 2. Actually, I don't know.
Yeah, but I think but it's ramped up ever since.
Yeah, but the tricycle and shit we saw in part 3.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I'm probably reading too much into it, but I always saw it as a statement. She walks into the Elm Street house, dong, the camera's moving and everything. The score is like really booming, and the tricycle is just tumbling down the fucking stairs.
Yeah.
It's just tumbling down the fucking stairs. And for me, it always meant like, all right, assholes, all bets are off, man. I'm going for the kill. In part 3, the tricycle, gets stepped on and melts. But in part 4, it opens right away. The tricycle is tossed in her face and it's thrown down the fucking stairs, kind of like, fuck you, dude. Here we go. Strap on for a ride. That's the way I always read it, but I got issues, and that's why I'm in therapy. So there you go.
Could be right. I mean, I would say the ballsiest thing, and we could argue if it works or not, but regardless of how well it works, I think something that I respect is that they brought in for the characters that lasted from part 3 and then murder them all off. I mean, obviously our cat was placed by, you said Tuesday night.
Yeah.
But you start off with our characters that we know and love, and then you murder every single one of them, and then kind of switch off to the new crew. I mean, I think that takes balls. I'm surprised Rennie Harlan was allowed to do that. I mean, whoever wrote the script, I'm surprised. It's like, well, they like to let's keep them going.
The script was written, the first draft, because there's like 5 writers on it or some shit, but the first draft was Brian Engelin, who wrote LA Confidential.
Oh, that classic.
976 Evil for Robert Englund.
Oh, that's a classic too, actually.
Yeah, and Robert Englund recommended him to New Line, and New Line told him, all right, you want the job, you got to write the script in a week. So he wrote his draft in a week. Then, of course, Rennie Harlan came in with his ideas, and a couple of other writers came in. But of course, Brian Engelin went on to do, he wrote Payback, Man on Fire with Denzel.
Oh wow, okay.
A Knight's Tale, Conspiracy Theory with Mr.
Well, you're talking Donner and Gibson,
yeah. So that's what I like about Elm Street. A lot of like Chuck Russell, Nightmare on Elm Street 3. A lot of people started. Yeah, Frank Darabont as well. And Chuck Russell. A lot of people that are like really high up now, cut their teeth on these films. So Engelin, Rennie Harlan, I think at that time had only done Born American, which was a foreign film. Then he did his first American film, which was Prison, with Kane Hodder, who's in it, and Viggo Mortensen as a star. If you've never seen Prison, see it. It's a really good movie. And that acted as his calling card in the States. Rennie Harlan really lobbied hard to get the Nightmare on Elm Street 4 directing gig. He kept showing up at the New Line offices. I want to talk to Bob Shea. And he just kept pushing and pushing. And finally, like, all right, asshole, you want it? All right, you got it. So that's how that came about. Yeah. One
of the most popular entries, or at least one of the most financially successful entries. So that should say something. I mean, yeah, that's awesome.
Of course, I'm sure Patricia Arquette didn't show up in part 3 because all the people, there's like rumors and stuff, but what I've heard is that the agent wanted more money. Her agent wanted more money, and New Line didn't want to give it. That was out on that, so she got replaced.
I mean, Tuesday Night's fine. I think Patricia Arquette was better, but at the same time, they do kill her off. Can I tell you something though that I noticed during this rewatch? The first time we meet her, she pulls in this parking spot and she parks so fucking far right. She's on the line. Like I would have got on like, you can't park like that. You can't park like that. Park normal. Park in the middle like an adult. It's like she wrote that fucking line, man. I got stressed out. It's like, what are we doing here? What are we doing here?
What the fuck is this? What the fuck is this?
It is the weirdest shit, dude.
You go to a parking lot, somebody rides that right line. It's like, I'll dent your car myself. I got an old car. I don't care.
Some men just want to watch the world burn.
You know what I noticed?
Please.
That at the end where the souls are trying to come out of his body. Basically, they built a giant torso and put actors inside, with the latex and
very creative because it looks normal, but it gives all the detail.
And there's a pair of breasts at some point that kind of shit.
I wrote it down because I didn't know it either until I watched the credits.
Yeah. And you know whose the breasts those were?
Lena Quigley. I don't know.
That's right. Yeah. She was dating Steve Johnson, who was on board.
The effects artist.
Yeah, at the time. Yeah, a great guy actually, by the way, in real life. Rock and roll. He's like a rock and roll Robert Downey Jr. And that's another thing I actually really liked about the picture, with the highlight being the Brooke Thies cockroach, which was actually done by Screaming Mad George. But that's one hell. If you look back at Nightmare on Elm Street Part 3. They had, I call it a ripper. They had a ripper scene, and the ripper scene was the puppet guy. Yeah,
at the beginning, yeah.
That's pretty rough, and that's pretty ambitious to execute in terms of effect. And I thought the same thing for this cockroach gag with Brooke Thies, where she's benching, and then her arms, and then thing, and she's floating, and her face is peeled off eventually, and
it keeps going. She's in the thing.
Yeah, she got the arm. She's in the Roach Motel, and then the face peels off, and you can check in, but you can't check out. Or 1988 was Dream Master. Maybe we didn't appreciate it as much then, but sorry, the Trooper beer is making me like burp. But I definitely appreciate it even more now, to see that kind of artistry put into a scene.
Well, and they were wise enough that there was all of it was set up and payoff. At the very beginning, you have the nerdy girl with the inhaler, the bench press girl. I'm bad. I don't have anybody's name in this. I'll be honest. I'm sorry. But at the very beginning in the movie, she kills a bug and she's like grossed out by it. So we're letting them know, all these people know the boyfriend's really going to cry. But I mean, as simple as it is, it's like that matters. Because not only are the kills creative, but they do tie into the character, even at surface level. And I call me old fashioned, but like setup and payoff is something you don't see as much. And like you said, as creative as it is, all of it. The boyfriend in the pizza.
The pizza bit is hilarious. Oh, Rick, you little meatball. Ding.
I guess it's good for you.
He eats that little animatronic head. Yeah. It's actually kind of fucking awesome, man. So they still retain, Freddy still had integrity in Part 4. I think he started losing that integrity, in my opinion. Obviously, you guys could think what you want to think. For me, even though I like a lot of it in Part 5.
Like, this is his peak. 5 is not that bad. People hate it, but I mean, he's still not as cool as 4.
No. And 5, again, uncut version. The only way to watch it. We've been sucking this movie's bleep bleep for a bit now. So how about any negatives? Is there anything that popped at you?
They're all goreless kills. That stuck out to me right away. I mean, the cockroach was the grossest, but everything else was they're not a drop of blood. But I was thinking, and I was there watching, I go, shit, is Freddy, are they even bloody? Am I making that up? So you might have to step in, because I'm trying to think of like gory kills. That's like I can't really place too many in the series.
No, actually, it's the movie's
more creative, right?
Yeah, more creative, and there's always a ripper. So like Part 1 was Tina,
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point.
So that's a ripper. Part 2 for me is the scene where he comes out of Jesse's body.
Okay, I was going to say whipping the guy in the ass. Huh?
That's a great scene, though. That's a great.
No,
we're still gonna go through that movie, man. Part two is just fascinating on so many levels. Like beyond the homosexual overtones.
Yeah,
it's very fascinating in itself, because there was not going to be a sequel, and they didn't know what to do next, and that's what they came up with. Part 3 kind of brought it back to the roots, dreams and everything. Where Part 2 is really a possession thing. which acts as a metaphor for whatever the fuck, we
Well,
could
part
come
two
up with.
goes to it does everything the opposite. That's why it's
Yeah,
interesting. It's
yeah.
like Mario Brothers to it. It doesn't make any sense. It's cool in a vacuum because it's like, wow, you guys really looked at the first one and said, hey, everything we did in that, don't do that. Do
Yeah,
the
exactly.
opposite. Yeah.
Exactly. Part two
Cool
had
skills,
the coming out of the body. Part three, the Ripper scene, was the puppet thing. Part four is the cockroach thing. Part five is if you see part five has if you see the uncut version, it's gorier than the other ones because the bike scene is super gory in the uncut version, and the Greta scene being fed to herself is super fucking disgusting in the uncut version. I said that in another episode. I hadn't watched the theatrical cut version in a very long time. I've always seen the uncut version, and I saw it before we did a show a while back. I forgot, for part 6, I think, or something. And I was like, fuck, they really fucked it up, man. It's really doesn't deliver.
No, it's like skin's breaking open, the little tubes are going. No, it's a cool scene. I mean, it's a cool scene regardless, but yeah, once you see the uncut, it's like, oh man, you guys, it's like the Jason 7 of the series where it's like, dude, you really took it down too much,
Yeah. If I had any negatives, and these are negatives that have stayed with me since I first saw it in 1988. The dude with the wig, that is so not Lisa Wilcox. They could have found
it was a her. Okay, yeah.
When they had that rock song that you probably hate because you hate 80s rock.
Oh yeah, it was disgusting. But like when she's
dude,
like,
I love that song. No.
Of
Before when she starts to gain power,
it's a great scene, but it's lame.
It's not lame. You're lame. Fuck you, dude.
I just said it was a great scene.
But you said it's lame.
But it's great. But it's still great. Listen, it's like 86 or some shit. When is this movie? What is this movie here?
88.
Yeah, I mean, it's 88. She's powering up with nunchucks.
Anyways, when the nunchucks is being done from behind her, it's obvious it's like some dude with a wig, broad shoulders, that knows how to nunchuck. That's all. And the same thing with the kicks at the ending, like the final fight between her and Freddy. There's a couple times over the shoulder on Freddy, and she kicks Freddy in the face, and you see it's a dude in a wig, and they darken his face with the lighting so you don't notice. So that kind of took me out of it, and I always thought that Rick, the brother, her brother, hello baby, played by Andras Jones, his death was shit.
Wasn't that a rush job? I thought in behind the scenes they said they had a cool death planned and like they couldn't do it, so they made it invisible.
That's it.
It was lame.
I heard a couple of things. Number one, the script was being rewritten as they went along. Then I heard that they were going to kill him in the elevator, where the elevator comes down, but it breaks apart around, but it was too expensive to do. And then I heard they're like, well, how about we don't kill him at all? We just let him live. But they had already shot the funeral scene, when he comes out and hello, baby, and all that stuff.
They have Nancy's tombstone behind him. I'm like, they're burying all these fucking kids in one area.
I know, one place, yeah. And finally they kind of winged. They had run out of money. I know that, they were penny pinching at that point. So they kind of winged the kung fu, invisible Freddy. So, save a lot of money. Bobby England's not on set. They kind of winged that scene, and I always felt that compared to, Joey's how's this for a wet dream.
Oh, it's a weak scene. Oh, that's a great scene. We didn't go.
I love that scene. Yeah,
one of the best kid shots in the movie. As a little kid, I remember that more than I remember the movie.
Yeah, good old Joey, man, just takes a pair of titties and he's there. Rest in peace, Joey. That the cockroach, the girl with asthma, her body, kind of like Life Force. You remember Life Force? She kind of gets sucked dry.
Yeah, it has a little effect. Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah, with the eyes and sunking in and everything. And then you have Rick fighting somebody that's not there, and I think it ends with the glove going sayonara, Rickson, and
it's lame. Yeah, I mean, and they called it up.
So that's lame, and I think that's pretty much it in terms of my complaint. I mean, it's not scary, but I didn't expect it to be scary at that point.
I mean, the acting in ADR isn't great. I mean, there's a couple lines that I was like, but in this movie, I mean, I don't want to bitch about that because it's like we could take this argument and apply it to every movie of the slasher genre. It's like, but To be honest, there was some really there's some dialogue.
Let's go over to Debbie's tonight. We have to make a plan.
Totally random. When Dan, who, the jock, the jock dude, whose real name is Dan, his actually, just funny aside, his character didn't have a name in the script. He's just like the boyfriend. So he's like, well, I'll just call him Dan. And his name is Dan in real life.
Danny Hassel's Dan.
Yeah, Danny Hassel. That's it. Yeah. Remember the scene when he's, they got into the car crash, after going in a loop, and he's like in the hospital bed, and Freddy's dressed like a doctor, but you don't know it. He's wiping his brow, And I don't remember what Dan says, he goes like, he has a reaction, he has a line, I don't remember what it was, and Freddy takes off the thing and goes,
Well, it ain't Dr. Seuss.
It's a little lame, but
play, dude, fuck you, dude, it's lame. Play the scene, it's hilarious, man.
I'm gonna play the scene. I'm playing the scene.
Play it.
Kruger! Well, it ain't Dr. Seuss.
No? I think that's funny shit.
I mean, I think this is better than that scene, but yeah, they're all good. They're all good. There's something I thought was really weird. I wrote down. There's a part where they literally have Robert Englund dressed up as a female nurse for like a minute, and it's like, dude, because they're trying to play it off a little like it's a woman. Then he's like, oh, blah, blah, blah. And like, no, dude, you're Robert Englund in drag.
Yeah,
it was so strange to me. It's like,
I love it.
Why would they just have the nurse who's a normal nurse and just dub his voice? But like, they literally have some dude dressed as a woman, and I'm like, it's fine. I thought it was funny. I was like, I just thought.
I like you got your little fucking notepad going.
I do.
Yeah,
Lena
go ahead.
Quigley, soul and body. Robert Englund, woman nurse. Girl can't drive.
Girl can't park. Yeah.
What the fuck is this?
Well, guys, two things before we depart. Number one, I want to thank everybody to our new channel. If you happen upon this video by accident, you don't know who we are. Shame on you. But no, Arrow in the Head show started on Joe Blow Horror Originals. Now we've migrated to our own Arrow in the Head show channel, and Lance and I are really happy with how it's been going. So thank you for the support. Thank you for following us, for migrating with us. We appreciate it. Right.
I think it's important to say John and I aren't doing this because of ego. We just like to drink and talk, and the fact that people want to just hang out with us. We're very, very strict when we said, like, we want this as a bar motif, because it's not about, and John's in the business, and I'm just some bald Midwesterner, but it's not about that as much as about like hanging out and bullshitting, ball busting. And I know that's important. I just think there's a lot of ego in this business and like what they want to do. And so I'm happy that we are going out there just saying, hey, I should have a drink with us, man. So I appreciate the people join us, and it means the world to me, man. Come hang out with me and John. If you drink, you drink. If you don't, get some water. If you smoke, you smoke. If not, tip your hat, man. We're all just here to bullshit and hang out.
Bullshit, hang out, and talk about, old school horror, man. What else do you want out of life,
About.
Exactly. So look, we usually don't announce our next episode anymore because, life is life. So I'm not going to promise this to you guys and gals, but I am personally leaning towards Nightmare on Elm Street 2 because I think make for an interesting little repartee.
All right, so 2, huh? We're gonna aim for 2.
Yeah, that's where my head's at, but we'll see how shit unravels. Yeah.
Okay. Well, John, until next time, and everybody else, good morning, good night. You take care of yourself.
How sweet, fresh meat. Cheers, guys.